director of a UK system integration company. It's called Bruhati, and we operate in the UK and internationally, across industries. We're at the forefront of technology. We do really like innovation, and that's why we are here today. We don't make drones, we make use of them though. And we offer technology to our customers to solve business problems. And today we're going to see a specific one. Concept of definition of a smart farm. So what does smart farm mean? What are the benefits? What are the challenges in the industry? So why do we need to use technology to solve this problem? And then we're going to see what's the best implementation approach. I come from about 15, 18 years of delivery in IT. And I've seen very, very large transformation programs. And approaching a new technology is always challenging. It's easy to fail. So how can we avoid failure? So who's Bruhati? Bruhati is an international organization. We're present in several countries across the globe. And we work with very large accounts. British Army is one of our customers. We work with the NHS. We collaborate with very large software vendors as well in the world. Software AG is one of our closest partners. We have premier implementation partners. So what we've done is we selected a platform called Cumulosity to implement Internet of Things solutions. And we used also drones to capture data and interpret it in the cloud and make business value out of it. We're going to see an example today. These are some of the locations where we operate. What are our services? So what's the important set of services we offer to our customers and prospects? We have three pillars. One is enterprise architecture. Fundamentally, everyone is trying to use technology here today. There's so much hardware and software around us. What's the best choice for your business? How can you bring value in terms of increasing margin, more revenue, less costs, going green, and the ability to make your customers happier and your staff happier as well? We operate with several technologies and consulting techniques. We can help you getting up to a 10% cost reduction on your IT operating costs. So it's an important number when we're talking about organizations that invest a lot in IT. The second thing we do, and we're going to talk about today, is Internet of Things. We collaborated in several large-scale implementations. We work also with the NHS. We recently got published as the company helped NHS implementing the first 5G connected hospital in the UK. Today we are going to talk about it in the farming industry. And then business automation. How can we use automation to create more efficiency, reduce your operational costs, and focus people time when it's bringing more value to your business? Okay? What's the definition and benefit of a smart farm? So let's see if we understand what smart farm means first. Some of them are there as jokes, okay? The first thing. Sorry, I'm tricking you. They're all wrong. A smart farm shouldn't be built using technology. It should be built solving a business challenge. What's the biggest challenge in the economy right now, in particular also in farming? Cost reduction. Supply chain issues at the moment created a massive increase in costs of source and raw material. As an example, fertilizers, which we all know doubled in price because of the current ecosystem. Reduce emissions. We all want to go green. How do we do it? How can we prove we have done that? Increase yield and quality of products, because there's a lot of competition in the market. Then control auditability. How can I prove I'm complying with standards? These are the things actually farming cares about. And we want to do it through the use of technology. But not one technology is the solution to it. Creating digital twin of your farm is the first step to have control over your ecosystem. What's a digital twin? For people that don't know it, it's a digital representation. A digital twin can help you have a granular control over some aspects of your value chain. And drones can be used to be able to capture information that you're using actually to build that granular view of your farm. We're going to see an example in a second. We can help you also reducing water consumption, because if you know how much water you need, you stop spraying random. Just focus on where you need to water. Same applies to fertilizers. Why would you spray fertilizer unless you really know there is a problem with your crop? And these automatically help us reducing emissions, especially because we're using electric vehicles, like drones, to survey. We don't need the farmer with the tractor anymore. So how can technology help farming? There are several use cases. You can build a representation of your land that could include cattle or anyway, any type of crop. Today we're going to talk about wine, because I'm Italian. I come from the land of Prosecco, and everyone in the UK I've seen liked Prosecco. I do. So we're going to see an example there on how we use smart farming to improve the yield and also the effectiveness of the plantation. For what concerns case studies, we can look at managing delivery, manage fertilizers and consumption of water, and I'll show you how we do it in a sec. Store management, so how do we manage the product itself? What kind of space do we have available right now? Space is very expensive. It's a very expensive resource. Being able to track also livestock. We haven't spoken too much about animals, but it's very, very important, animal welfare. So how do we also do that? Asset tracking, staff tracking, pest monitoring, runoff monitoring, so being able to do environmental management as well. All of these are some examples of use cases. The solution, okay, good. So technology. Now we're going to technology. This is a very high-level representation, but fundamentally, we have to be able to capture data from the environment. Things that in farming are very important are the temperature, humidity, soil and water pH, and clearly water content, and nitrogen levels. These are some of the key factors that you want to be able to capture in order to understand the situation of your farm. Clearly, when we're talking about animals, we can also talk about animal behavior, position. You can actually understand the welfare of an animal just looking at how it moves. How do we capture all of this? Clearly, drones are at the center of the conversation today. From our perspective, drones help through imaging. We're going to see an example of it in a second, but they're just part of the solution. We also use sensors. We use innovative technologies like LoRaWAN, which are all battery operated. The batteries last up to 10 years. You put a sensor on the field, you leave it there for 10 years. And you don't think about it, just get the data out of it. And you need one router that can cover an area of 5 kilometers, so you can really quickly build your own network. And it's cheap. We're going to get there. Why does it need to be flexible? Why does it need to be modular? Otherwise it fails. That's one of the most important parts of building a blueprint. All this data gets collected by sensors and flying objects, and it gets vehiculated to the cloud. Cloud, you can use whatever software you believe is necessary. We selected Cumulosity from Software AG because in our experience is embodying all the technology we need. So in one solution, we can do everything from processing the data to build smart rules, graphically or programmatically. We can then process this data and visualize it with dashboarding capability. We can call APIs or integrate with other systems. And this enables us having an ecosystem, plus machine learning clearly, and AI. So all of these technologies in one platform, they're very, very powerful. And they quickly turn around the product. 8 weeks is the time we give ourselves to build a new solution based on these principles. Going live in 8 weeks is a challenge that we managed to address. Then the blockchain. What's blockchain? I guess you all know cryptocurrencies and the fact that the crypto technology is used because it's safe. At least you can't break it. That's what they say. But cryptography is also used to represent data in a ledger. What's a ledger? It's like a book that everyone can read, and it's open. You can query it at any point in time. It's used for auditability in our scenario. So if I have to prove I'm compliant with ESG requirements, environmental, social, and governance requirements, how do I do it in a way that no one can tamper it? Blockchain is a solution. We've been using it in other industries, including oil and gas, where compliance is really important. So all the data is collected, processed, and fed into the blockchain, and you can see that as a database, even if it's not. But the data stores there, and if you want, you have a wallet. You have a wallet of your crop. You can actually see where your wine glass has been farmed and who processed it, step by step. How much water did it need it? How much pesticide? How many emissions of CO2? That's how you track end to end and you prove your net zero. Okay, let's talk about drones quickly. So, from our perspective, you don't need to do anything complicated. That's the secret of long living, because complex solutions fail. I've seen so much sci-fi in this fair, and it's amazing. But from our perspective, yes, that's necessary when the level of maturity is quite advanced. If you're approaching using flying technologies in context of farming, you have to keep it really simple. Especially, people don't have money, so they always come to me and say, I won't spend 20K for a drone. I don't have it. Or for a fleet of drones. So what we usually say is, okay, buy something off the shelf that can take a picture, and we take the data and send it to the cloud. That gives you the classic 80-20 rule, where 80% of the requirements are met. Might give you a little bit of extra work initially, but if it solves your problem, why would you spend 10 times more? That to me is very important. We call it consumerization of the enterprise. Even in the enterprise space, it's important to use the right technology. If it's consumer technology, use it. Buy it on Amazon, as long as it works for you. So we split the field in quadrants, scan each quadrant, collect the data, send it back, recharge, and process the data on the cloud. What happens when the data is collected? Let's have a look. You can choose the flying technology you like, collect data, take this footage, upload it to the cloud. It can be automated, it could be a manual process. And then the footage is analyzed. This is an example where we are correlating pictures of illnesses, a specific type of crop. They all get fed into the artificial intelligence that builds a machine learning model and provides you the probability of having a problem before it presents itself at large scale. So the concept is moving from a reactive to a proactive approach. The old methodology used to be periodically spray everything, do some surveying. If you have a large area, how do you do it without going through all the problems and business challenges we've seen? Drones allows us to be more efficient, faster, cheaper, and know things before they happen. This is called predictive management. So what's the right implementation approach? We define the requirements you need. Simple as that. As I said, keep it really simple, deliver value from day one. Build an MVP. I don't know how many of you understand the concept of MVP. I'll very quickly explain it. And deliver value immediately. What does it mean? So if you have to approach smart farming, you want to introduce your flying technologies to it, then 8 weeks is the right number. You should be able to do it in 8 weeks. It's quite a challenge if you're not ready for it. That's why we use a technology that allows us to very quickly deliver a solution and then scale it if that's the right solution for the customer. MVP means minimum viable product. Keep it simple, 80-20. Don't spend money on it. Only focus on what's its value. That's what MVP means. And it's a sort of an evolution of Agile. And you want to have a return on investment in 8 weeks. Then moving to the scale-up phase. where you only scale up and so invest in the stuff that works for you. Software delivery and solution delivery. So we spoke about MVP. What's the role of Bruhati in this? So we are a system integrator. We choose the right technologies and the right partners to then build the solution for our customers. It's a bit like Lego. If you like Lego, I do. Take all your nice blocks, building blocks, and then put them together. So you're very quickly able to build a solution that goes at scale and it can be used by the likes of governments. Okay? Very quickly, we want to be able to start from having nothing to have devices on the field, data collected, sent to the cloud, and then displayed on the screen, mobile and web. You want to build an app? You build an app. How long does it take? 5 minutes? I can show you. Come to the stand. Okay, so from an IoT perspective, we chose to come here because we realized that Internet of Things is 100% complementary to what we're seeing today in terms of drones and other flying technologies. And no one was really specialized in it. We are specialized in Internet of Things. So extremely complementary to this ecosystem. That's why we're here today. In our approach, we have a technology that very, very quickly allows you to capture data from existing infrastructure, send it to the cloud, process the data coming through, build alarms. Alarms are things you need to act upon, okay? And then build business rules around it. That could be simply built, like if water content too low, open the pump and water that area of your field. Or you could actually trigger artificial intelligence-based logics that actually use very complex statistical models to then provide you some insight in probability of having a disease, or even an insight on how much yield you're going to get if you do this action now. And then visualize the data, all in one platform, because ultimately, you don't want to use several products for that. You have to maintain them. It's very complex. And it's also super expensive. We spoke about blockchain. I'll just say that again very quickly. The use of blockchain technologies allow us to track from the grape to the glass of wine the story of any product you're looking at. So we complement the existing ecosystem, capturing information using drones and several IoT devices, to then being able to track the story of everything that the farmer is producing, and then being able to be auditable. And we don't hide behind the finger, and we don't make fake reporting. We make everything true, because you can see the data step by step. How much water every day is being given to that plant, and you can see it's ended up in your glass. If you want to know more about it, come to stand 868. E68, and we'll talk about it. You can win a blockchain, by the way, your own blockchain, so come and meet us. Devices. So 90% of the stands here have devices. We don't have any device in our stand. Now we have IoT sensors. So you can come and see what IoT sensors are on first hand, if you want to touch them. But ultimately, this question here is to try and challenge your thinking around, what do I really need to invest on? How much do I need to spend? And where do I start and how do I proceed? The answer is, keep it super simple, go out of the box. You might need a simple weather station. There are in the few hundreds. This is a fantastic device. It is used to, based on what your type of crop you are actually growing. There are different lengths of it that are based on probing the roots of your plants. They don't cost much. You take them, install them, they last 3 to 5 years, no changing batteries, all wireless, and you can finally know how much water you need to give to your plants. And then clearly drones. Here, I've done a lot of work with the DJI Mini, which is very entry level, as you all know. But clearly, if you have larger areas and you need to be able to periodically keep automation going, we're seeing fantastic technologies these days. Auto recharge, be able to set a specific area to be able to be monitored. But that's up to you. My suggestion will be start small and then you scale up only when you need it. In a nutshell, the rollout phase. Once you found the right solution for you, so you fine-tuned it, that's where you can actually invest. Because it's going to give you massive return on investment very quickly. You need a platform that allows you to connect new devices in less than 5 minutes, build new dashboards in 10 minutes, new applications. How long does it take to build an app? If you know what an app is, phone app. Well, 10 minutes with our tech, and we've done it on purpose because you have to be able to experiment and then scale up when you need it. We don't clearly do only farming. Farming is an excuse to discuss about the whole end-to-end value chain and tracking of carbon across suppliers. Clearly, the technology we are discussing today can be used for building surveying. Been seen a lot of interest around surveying these days. Land surveying, site security, carrier drones, etc., etc. But we see them all. The principle here is if you're approaching these technologies and you're trying to find value out of flying objects, start small and grow. You need a technology layer, particularly the IT layer, that allows you to do that.